And I used to sing a lot when I was picking up coke. I'd make up songs. Those were the rough days for me. I really didn't tap dance. Well, I always say I tap dance, but really what we do was buck dance, heel and toe. Tap dance is all toes. I buck dance for the cavalry. Our rent was $5 a month. And I had to buck dance for the soldiers. And they would throw quarters and nickels to see me dance. And I'd pick it up, I'd get $5 or $10 and take it back home and give it to my great aunt, and they would pay the rent.
At $19.
Hey, 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 pretty baby with the fine old fox self. Hey, pretty baby with the fine old fox self.
Augusta being a military town, we spent a lot of time out tap dancing for soldiers.
They would come into the brothels, so it's like, how can I make a little money? So I'm going to do my little buck dance is what they call it.
Buck dancing is one of those traditions that comes out of the history of slavery, connected to African dance, but it gets brought over and transmuted into this culture. And it was a certain kind of performance that was expected to produce entertainment for white folks watching black folks.
I paid the rent for 3 months and put $4 in my pocket. I went to the movie, my dad whooped me, and I come back and gave it to him, and I went back and made some more and went back to the movie. Come back and got me again.
In this country...
But what you could do is perform. Plantation owners and overseers, they would allow slaves to perform in limited, circumscribed ways. They wanted a certain kind of performance from slaves. James Brown's relationship to buck dancing is where you really have to start. It's about doing it rhythmically and producing certain kinds of sounds with your whole body, but especially the lower half of your body. You think of Sammy Davis Jr., you think of that whole black entertainment tradition. So much of that is about the understanding of what the feet have to do in performance.
That's exactly what art is. We took our situation and made it beautiful. No matter how ugly it was meant to be, we made
And when I played it, yeah, that's it. And but then he was hoofing to it at the same time, you know. But that's what it was. That's what
That's a new word I learned today earlier. Hoofing.
That's what they were calling it. That.
Right.
That's that old that tap dancing thing, that vaudeville-like thing. Yeah.
But that bridges.
Drums. There's a lot of good drummers that can't dance.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys?
I'm one.
Do you?
I don't dance.
I
can dance. Okay.
I used to do it. I used to dance pretty good at one time. Stopped doing it. But see, here's the thing. He was a hoofer, man. And I keep using that word. And that, see, they all watched that stuff. If you, back then when you went to New York, if you got to the Apollo, Sandman, I'm trying to think of the guy name that did all the announcing, man. They were all in that movie. All these guys, man, were tap dancers. And they would start, you know how they would challenge each other. I got this move and I don't work this out. That's what they were doing. James would do that. One of the better people I knew would do that would be Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis would go in, and don't think that buck could dance.
Yes,
Sammy Davis Jr. could do a little everything. But anyway, I'm just saying that's what they got together. And James was a hoofer, man.
He was a hot dancer.
He was a hoofer. And when you watch some of the stuff and the move that he was making on some of the things, you watch what he's doing.
Yeah. And he started putting his dance grooves along with the band, the drums. He started putting them together himself. And, you know, we didn't know nothing about it. We didn't know
I knew when I was playing.
Right.
I watched him, and I knew what he was doing. And when I see him do little things, I was doing patterns against what he was doing. And when he came back to do it again, he got the hits were done. Yeah, I like that, and that's what I started. That's when hits started being done for
most of
him.
them hit bat.
Yeah.
Bat.
And we didn't know what we were doing. We were just having a good time.
Yeah.
And he said, whatever they're paying you over there, I'll double it over here. And he said everything, work or no work, I would get a salary. And that meant a lot to me for my family.
I want to get up and do my thing.
Yeah. Coming from playing the blues.
Moving. Yeah. Doing it, you know.
Yeah. To playing with James Brown.
Can I get into it? Yeah.
There had to be a change in that.
Like a sex machine.
Yeah. To get the funk part of it.
Can I count it off? Count it off.
With James.
Count it off.
You're playing the groove.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on up, get up, get on up, get on up,
Sex machine.
get up, get on up. Get up, get on up, get up.
James Brown was what the older guys in the music world call a hoofer, which is a dancer. I paid attention to James and how he moved on stage. When you saw him do all the little hits and stuff, that came from me. I played to that.
Get up.
That made me play more rhythm. And then when I got with James Brown, it was the idea of playing that type of funk with the rhythm, the bass and the guitar. So you worked your way into playing with what they were doing.
Get on up, get on up, get up, get on up, stay on the scene, get on up, sex machine.
J-Bo was not alone. James Brown had 2 drummers, the twin heartbeats in the godfather of funk's unique groove machine.
We never played together. Clyde was always here. And so James, he'd point back and Clyde would take it. Then he'd take it from Clyde, even if Clyde started, and he'd point to me to play.
Clyde Stubblefield and J-Bo Starks created the rhythms that drove countless funk classics, including a groove that would become one of the most sampled drum beats in the history of popular music.